Good morning and welcome to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between, right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. We're glad that you're with us this morning. A jam-packed show. Josh and Hodge are here. Misty will be in later. And we're rocking and rolling down in the Toasty Live studio here in the Mall of Abilene. We are presented by Live Land and Cattle, and our guest appear on our Pest Patrol phone line, which we will have at the bottom of this hour. Golf Channel's very own Grant Boone, Abilene's very own Grant Boone, ACU's very own Grant Boone, Masters at Grant Boone. Grant Boone's everywhere, and so Grant will be joining us again at the bottom of the hour to talk recap Masters weekend. Of course, we'll talk about that a little bit in a moment. And then, of course, he's heavy on the LPGA Tour. And then, of course, we've got the WAPT. We will actually have our team in the studio today. Josh, as Kyle King from Mulligan's will be joining us in the 8 o'clock hour with some exciting news of things that are going on at Mulligan's. And so we'll have him. So we'll have the whole team in, which will be kind of.
Yeah, that's the dream team.
Oh, I'm sure I'd love to see what the Calcutta is on that one.
If we're not top in that, then someone just doesn't know what they're doing.
Well, we're at the top of something, and I don't know.
I mean, in some category.
There is a category for us, just like there's a category for you out there. I don't know what that is for you. You can figure that out. Category. Speaking of categories, I threw it out. I brought up movies, Josh, in our rundown, and I put it out on social media. We're going to talk movies. I'll tell you why later. But we've got it up on our Facebook page. You can either put it on Facebook or on Twitter. What is your favorite genre of movies? And have scary movies lost its luster, and did it ever really have luster?
I like scary movies.
It depends, I guess. I don't know. There were some that I thought were engaging and fun. The problem is, I think there's movies in that category that should have stayed at one, but when they started making sequels,
that's true for a lot of movies.
It got dumb. So, but we'll talk about that. We'll have Missy's bag, and of course we'll have our Texas Rangers report brought to you by First Bank and Trust after our first break. But Josh, it's kind of we're in that weird sports time, and there's a lot going on. Of course, we've finally come off the Masters. We'll dive into our Lawrence Hall headline report. The Masters did happen last week, and of course, Scotty Scheffler won. Viewership a little bit down since, what did you say? I know it was the lowest.
It was the lowest in the last 30 years, minus the COVID year.
Right. And then I know it was.
And I don't remember what was going on with the Masters during the COVID. That was right at the beginning of the.
Well, they didn't have it, but then they had it in. That's when they had it in the fall, and that's when Dustin Johnson won. They ended up having it in November. Dustin Johnson won it that year, but Scotty Scheffler winning his second green jacket in 3 years, and it was entertaining. The back nine kind of got a little bit exciting, and then he ran away with it toward the end. But Scotty Scheffler again, Masters champion, exciting stuff for him, and so we'll talk more about Masters with Grant Boone again. Grant gets to cover Amen Corner on the Masters app every year, and he was on the ticket. He joins he's a very big P1 and joined the ticket, and they have April Fool's tournament, which was kind of comical. But anyway, so we'll talk more Masters with Grant at the bottom of the hour. Of course, right after the Masters is the Heritage, and it is taking place at Hilton Head. JT Poston leading that at 8 under. Along with folks at Pont Sam Power, Colin Morikawa. It's an elevated event, so all those guys go from the Masters to it. Not a whole lot of letdown on that. I'm telling you, if you're looking for something to do, you need to go to Dallas this weekend. We're jam-packed with stuff to do today and tomorrow, World's Largest Barbecue. But that celebrity golf tournament that's happening in Dallas, it's a pro-am with the senior tour. And so you've got Greg Maddux, Tony Romo, Annika Sorenstam, Emmett Smith, DeMarcus Ware, Larry the Cable Guy, all being paired up with champions people. And it's free.
Huh.
I mean, I know you're probably now changing all your plans to go to Dallas tomorrow.
Very busy weekend. I don't know if I'll have time. I got to go to Home Depot.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll have enough time. But anyway, so that is happening this weekend, but that's what's going off in the golf world. But we mentioned Josh. A couple things just down the road. My alma mater, Merkle Badgers' new head football coach, Wes Wood, Coach Wood, leaving Snyder to come to Merkle. So the post Coach Cates era is starting. Coach Wood, I believe, looked to start this week as a new athletic director and head football coach at Merkle, happening over there. But Josh, we start talking about the things that are happening as far as sports moving and things. It's not slowing down. A lot of draft talk. If you're watching any kind of sports or listening to sports stuff, a lot of draft, which is next week. But got into conversation. Who do you think is still the most talked about person right now in sports?
Whoa, the most talked about person. I don't know. I mean, because there's the Shohei controversy still kind of out there, but I think it's kind of died down a little bit. You stumped me. I don't know.
I think it's still Caitlin Clark.
Well, I mean,
and the reason I say that,
you said that, and I was like, oh yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean,
and the reason I say that is this past week they had the WNBA draft. Caitlin Clark went number 1. I mean, they had a watch party in the arena where the Fever played, and they had Caitlin Clark jerseys ready to put on. Number 22, Caitlin Clark. Will Donovan, who is not listening now, has changed his Facebook profile to the Fever logo. And so, but it's wild. Over 2 million people watched the WNBA draft Monday night. I know you were in that, took them over 2 million.
Yeah.
And,
got my popcorn.
But it's amazing. Of course, it all came out of what her contract is, like $77,000 a year. But then Misty sent us a text yesterday, $20 million shoe deal. It just still is. I don't know what the word is. I don't want to know the adjective is, Josh. But Caitlin Clark is still post women's Final Four, WNBA, and still very much talked about, of course, Good Morning American, all this stuff happening. And the question is, and we were at a place last night talking about this, is it going to change? And the guy, one of our friends, I'll mention his name, Cody Gay, we were talking about it last night. And is she going to transfer to the WNBA? And I said, I don't know, because we haven't had this opportunity to see if that's going to happen.
It is we talked about it a lot last week. The amount of interest that she has garnered on the college level and moving that over to the pro level, some of it's going to move for at least whether it's a blip on the radar or a steady change in trajectory. That's the part that I don't know. But there will be a lot of immediate interest whenever their season kicks off.
Well, and that's one of the conversations we were talking about last night. I said, she has the chance, because the whole thing this past week when it came out of how much she makes, and everybody was like, well, the guys make 50 times or, multiple large amounts more than that. But the truth is the viewership is produced that.
Right. Well, and that's the thing that bothers me about that type of argument. That's not, you might could have some sort of societal argument as a whole, but there's not some sort of sexist component to, well, she makes 77 million or 77,000 and her equivalent first round of the draft pick, in the NBA would have made, whatever million per year. I don't know what a rookie contract looks like in the NBA. I can't say off the top of my head, but it would have been a couple more zeros.
It'd have been life changing. You don't have to do anything again once you get paid.
Right. But really, it's not that that's just decided that we are just going to pay these women peanuts. It's because that money is not generated, and if that changes, the pay will go up, because that's how all the sports have been. If you go back, and especially like look at the NFL, I think is one of the key examples. You can talk to people who played in the NFL in the 80s and 90s that they didn't make life-changing money, and they had decent careers.
And jobs in the off season.
Right, and that those people set the trajectory for these people that make life-changing money now that even if you account for inflation over the years, it's more than doubled what they were doing in the past, and it's because that money started coming in, the endorsement deals, the TV deals, all of that, because the eyes wanted to be on that product. And so that if that happens, if Caitlin Clark does change it, pay will go up. I mean, that's
and that's
like,
the thing. You mentioned football. I think in the NBA was the same way. Back in the day, those 80s, 90s NBA people didn't make what they make now. But even more so, I think she has a chance. And I told them last night, we were talking, and I said she has a chance to be Tiger Woods because Tiger Woods did that for golf. When Tiger, there wasn't you weren't winning $1 million to win the Colonial. You weren't winning $1 million to win the Valero. It was X in the hundreds of thousands, but it wasn't a million. There were certain tournaments you'd win $1 million, but now every tournament on tour, if you win it, it's $1 million, if not more. She has that chance to do that if she can propel and bring the eyes and bring the dollars and and it all really comes down to not only viewership, but will the TV people get on board? If the TV people get on board and there's TV contracts and those things, that's going to be where we see the impact of it, if it will happen.
That's where there will be some lag in that, because if the numbers on the TV side, whatever the contracts are for next season are there, they're set. That's not going to change immediately.
But they did say that that ESPN and one of the other networks are going to make sure every time Caitlin Clark is on the floor, it will be on TV.
And that, I mean, that's good marketing. It's obviously trying to push what sells. And so we'll see. And I do find it it's very compelling. It's something that I am interested in seeing how it plays out.
And does it translate? And do we see people watching? And it does help that there's been other people, because without Caitlin Clark, we learned a little bit about Angel Reese last year, but now we know the Paige girl from Connecticut, the girl from Stanford. I mean, there's people starting to be able to know who other people are in women's college basketball, now the WNBA, because of Caitlin Clark. So that is our Lawrence headline report. Caitlin Clark not making a whole lot when it comes to the paycheck, but will be making plenty when she starts endorsing or being endorsed by all the different products. One of the products is the World Series Texas Rangers. They're on the road, and possibly this weekend is it a potential World Series preview. We will come back with our First Bank and Trust Texas Rangers report right after this. All right. Hello. Really wish the mall people would have figured another way to put their locks. That bend over is not a whole lot of fun. Not gonna lie, that looked kind of gross doing it on camera. Has there been more that's come out on the Shohei stuff?
No, we talked about it a little last week. Not since the federal government just basically came out and said like nothing to see here. Like, show
I
me
thought
the
somebody
ball.
found a graphic of like how many bets he had made, and
I mean,
like they figured out how much he had lost or what he won in a few or something.
I saw some stuff, but nothing's been like.
Let's like getting on this right here.
Looks
Huh?
looks like you might fall out of the chair.
Well, I'm not a big fan of this chair. Right, one more commercial. Car sales.
I believe in car sales.
I'd really like to figure out a way. Well, welcome back to the Hodge Pack, Sports Life and everything in between. It is time for our First Bank and Trust Texas Rangers Major League Baseball report as we go around and see how the Rangers are doing as they've taken a bit of a road trip. Still on the road, kind of like 6 days on the road. I'm coming home tonight, but they're not coming home yet. They're going to Atlanta. But anyway, we are jumping into that. And so, Josh, it's been a week. I've been, again, mentioned on the road, headed out to Houston, had a rough outing 1 and 2 in that series. Had some time in Motown this week, which where the draft will be next week. And of course, I mentioned possible World Series preview. But it's kind of been one of those up and downs. Bruce Bochy turned 69 years old this past week. Highly recommend checking out maybe fake Bruce Bochy if you get a moment. It was I don't know if you heard that, Josh. It was pretty fun.
Oh, no, I hadn't heard that. Our guys just like to get out there and try to compete. And if you talk really low and kind of pause, sometimes you can almost sound like Bruce Bochy.
Hey, we may be having to take on our own fake Bruce Bochy. But again, Texas Rangers 11-9, currently atop of the AL West. But Josh, kind of exciting. One of the things that we saw last night, of course, they won 9-7. But Josh, your thoughts on kind of where we're at, and it's interesting seeing that the young kids, and now we're getting a taste of younger son of former Major League Baseball player Al Leiter playing. We'll talk more about that, but your thoughts on kind of where we're at, 11-9, and again, we'll talk heading into Atlanta a little bit later.
Well, first of all, I would say that being in first place and being a couple games over 500, I guess on one hand we're playing out a little bit of luck that the Mariners, who people thought were going to be good, have not found a way to hit, and so they're not winning ball games. And then Houston really is inexplicably bad, and I don't think that will stay that way. I'm not, they have injury issues also, but they have a lot of performance issues with guys on their offense that I don't foresee that playing out for a whole season. So kind of in a gratuitous spot because with the injuries that the Rangers have had, Nate Lowe has yet to debut this season. Josh Young obviously broke his arm and is out for a while. And then the pitchers that we knew we were waiting on before the season started, DeGrom, Scherzer, Tyler Mahle, with those reinforcements kind of looming on the different stages of the horizon, and still being in first place and still being 2 games above 500, I think you feel good about it. The offense will continue to get better. They hit 3 home runs yesterday. They have not hit a whole lot of home runs, which has been really the thing that surprised me the most about this season so far. But that can obviously turn around, and as the weather starts warming up, it's not. Just a weird week of baseball. Also with the way that I don't have no idea why no one ever that I've read explained it, but the 4 games in Detroit had a 5 o'clock start and 3 straight noon starts.
The Wednesday, like the last game, like the Wednesday is kind of like Sunday. Ironically, the two sometimes church days growing up.
A lot of day games.
A lot of the day games, so they can go on to the next place they're playing. But they actually had a Thursday finish of that series before they headed to Atlanta, and so I thought that was kind of odd that it was in the middle of the day.
3 straight days: Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Like lunchtime, you can watch the first few innings. But 3-1 against Detroit. Detroit really struggled with not striking out, which that helps. And then you mentioned Jack Leiter, very exciting. That anytime you have a debut of a first round draft pick, it's something that you've thought about, dreamed about for a while. What this guy's going to turn into. Leiter's kind of had a rough go in the minor leagues the past couple of years, but then made some changes at the end of last year that saw positive results and came into camp this year ready to kind of continue that. And if you look at his line in AAA before coming up yesterday, he had 25 strikeouts against 3 walks and was allowing less than a base runner per inning. His problem that he was having was basically location, command, walking too many people. It seemed to kind of turn the corner on that in the minors. Came up yesterday and there was some positive to go along with it.
But don't you think it's interesting that we're starting to see, and maybe I'm wrong, I know you're me in golf, you in baseball, that we're starting to see these kids, I can say that now, I think, getting to the show a lot faster. Pudge, I believe it was Pudge at 19, but you start to see these guys getting to the show a lot sooner. Some may say because we have the injuries that are happening and opening that door for them. But we're starting to see these guys because I remember we talked about Bobby Witt Jr. Last week. Bobby Witt Jr., I remember that being one of the things on the MLB draft. They treated it very similar to the NFL, that cameras are there and boom, Bobby Witt Jr. is drafted. Same thing. Now, I know there's connections to their old man or their fathers playing in the league. But we're starting to see these folks getting to the league, getting to the show rather quickly than what we have in other sports. Obviously, Clayton Clark's going to play right away. Caleb Williams is going to play right away. We're seeing it sooner here with baseball.
Yeah, I think, 2 things. There's more scouting and more information out there, so the draft has more excitement because the people that are being drafted are more well known. Because you go back not that long ago, just a few years, there wasn't a lot of college baseball on TV. There was nothing as far as like any real showcases of high school talent other than you have some All-American game here or there or whatever, but not the consistency that there is now. And so those people are on the radar more, which makes it more exciting as far as like having a draft type experience like the NBA and the NFL has always done. But the thing is, in general, all those guys in the NFL, NBA draft are already household names. You knew who Tim Duncan was as he played for Wake Forest before he got drafted 1-1. So there's like that type of thing. Just I guess leads to more excitement. But you're starting to see that more with baseball because you can watch with all the streaming apps and everything that are out there. ESPN especially does it. You can watch like every college baseball game.
Right. And that's been a game changer because you are seeing that more. And they've really done a good job on both spectrums as far as softball and baseball. That's why
it's on TV.
That's why those TV contracts are so important for whether it's baseball or like we were talking with Caitlin Clark in the WNBA, is just getting viewership. Because there are people out there like you that love baseball. And I'll be honest with you, the thing about college baseball, that's, to me, it sounds cheesy and weird. I love the bing. I still love the sound of that metal bat. And so there are going to be people that watch it. There's a lot of people that are drawn to softball. because they enjoy watching softball. And now, because when you see those girls, I mean, it's the from the quick pitch to third base, playing about as close as you and Misty are from home to third, and just that it brings eyes to it. So it does make sense that we're starting to see these guys get more exposure to people, not just on a random. Only during the College World Series.
Right. And I think that twofold, that it increases public knowledge, but it also increases the amount of data, the amount of availability of being able to evaluate that talent that there is for the major league organization. So when they make those picks, they're more informed. So you're not just going out. Even like you talk about Mike Trout. Generational talent that was drafted, I believe, 27th. So a lot of people could have picked Mike Trout, but he fell all the way, to where it was that he was drafted. And that type of thing, it happens in all sports, but baseball seems that's more likely to happen. Some guy that kind of maybe wasn't on the radar for everybody, and then he ends up being very good. But there is more exposure now, so those people get to be more of a household name. And I've also heard a lot of discussion that these college programs are just better. They're better at training players, at developing players. So when people are coming out of college, it's kind of a continuation of their development, and not we're going to go to the minors and kind of start developing. And so that changes things also. But Al Leiter or Jack Leiter, son of Al Leiter, one interesting thing just of note, he made a little bit of history yesterday with starting. It was when he made his debut, he completed the first time ever that brothers who played in the major leagues both had sons that played in the major leagues, because Jack Leiter's cousin is a relief pitcher, I believe, for the Phillies, if I recall correctly. So, just interesting little tidbit about being in a baseball family. I guess if you come from there, you just play in the majors.
And you see it in golf, you see it in baseball. Of course, we see it in football with the Mannings. But speaking of golf, when we come back, we will have Golf Channel's Grant Boone. We'll have a Masters recap. We'll preview the Judy Rankin night, where you can buy a table. And then, of course, we'll get his thoughts on Caitlin Clark, for a guy that covers the LPGA, and what Nelly Court is doing on tour, looking to win her fifth straight, I believe, on the LPGA Tour. So when we come back, we'll have Grant Boone on our Pest Patrol phone line right after this. Have you talked to Kyle?
Yes, he called me last night. I was dying when you went into your alter ego on the radio. Like, I was laughing so hard.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, Sports Life and everything in between. And we are rocking and rolling here in hour number one. And we have one of our favorites been on the show. He has been on the show when we were in the old studio and now being on our Pest Patrol phone line in our new studio. Joining us on our Pest Patrol phone line, Golf Channels, Masters app, ACU, the voice of a lot of things, and the man that played 100 holes of golf for Meals on Wheels, and he's done everything on our Pest Patrol phone line. Grant Boone. Grant, appreciate you taking time this morning. We're doing well, doing well. You're coming off, I always say, Grant Boone is our Jim Nance. He gets to go to Augusta every year, and then just all the other things that you do, and of course the voice of ACU and voice of the LPGA, you name it, getting a great gig. And so you're coming off of, my understanding, listening to the great April Fool's Ramadan episode of you on the ticket, your 14th Masters. But this one was a little special because you got to take along one of your favorite caddies with you this past week. Oh, no doubt, no doubt. And so let's talk about, do you still get, butterflies is probably not the right word, but what do you get when you get your equivalent of Magnolia Lane?
It's the tournament that gets the most interest. It's a golf course that isn't like any other, and a tradition unlike any other, as Jim Nance likes to say. And I get there on a Monday most years, get my credential, walk out to the property, and I usually do what Nick did when he first got there. He walks the whole 18 holes, and it never gets old. Every time you're there, you think, I'm on a movie set, and this is not real. And it's real, and it's spectacular.
Yeah, it's just been fortunate enough to go twice, and it's we always say it's the best place on earth, and I'm sure, I think there's never any weeds, there's no trash, it's just perfect. But let's talk about the 2024 Masters. It got exciting. Of course, again, you mentioned it. Getting to cover Amen Corner. You mentioned this on your interview with the ticket this past week. Is that your part is kind of where a lot of times tournaments is decided I still, to this day, Danny Willett should send a thank you card to Jordan Spieth every year, and that's why he has a green jacket. But talk about just what Scotty did and how he never really flustered, and hole 11 kind of set the tone.
Well, yeah, holes 11, 12, and 13, quite obviously, in an 18-hole event. You know, the tournament isn't over with my holes, but most years, you have a pretty good idea who's going to be the winner by the time the last putt drops at the 13th hole, which is when our broadcast ends, because that's all we do in those 3 holes. And we start on Thursday morning as soon as the first group gets there, and we sign off Sunday afternoon when the last leaves, 13. But the thing I would say is, I think we're going to look back at, you know, in the way that we do. You click on Wikipedia and you say, how many did Scotty win by in 2024? Oh, he won by 4. Oh, he beat Oberg. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was great. And I think we're going to forget that, you know, this was a 4-way tie for the lead. Heading into the 8th hole, you got a 4. We're going, I mean, NASCAR style, you know? And it could have been anybody's event. Now, in hindsight, you say, well, that was Scotty being Scotty. Well, that's easy to say in retrospect, but he then makes about a 12-footer for birdie at 8. Almost spins it back in at 9, with a perfectly judged approach. I go back to Greg Norman in 1996, my first Masters. Greg Norman has a 6-shot lead, and he's leaking oil, and he takes on that 10 at 9, and instead of trying to spin it back like Scotty did, he tried to attack it, thought it batted off the front of the green, and had to work hard to make it bogey. So Scotty judged it beautifully. Then he gets revenge at 10, which he's doubled on Saturday, makes birdie there. And by the time Scotty gets to the 11th hole, our hole, the green is 2, but as we know, 11, man, anything can happen. Anything at 11. And sure enough, Oberg tugs his approach into the water. He makes double. Max Holla makes par. But then Max, the next hole, the 12th, gets a really unfortunate hop into the bushes, makes double. Colin Morikawa, you know, it is in the water at 11, made double. After he made double at 9, and all of a sudden, Scheffler steps to the 12th tee, not tied as he'd been after the 7th hole, but up by 3. Although I noted, as he got to the tee box, that his buddy Jordan Spieth was up by 3. Coming off a bogey at 11 in 2016, trying to win his second Masters. There were a lot of parallels. But Jordan hit it in the water twice, made quad. Scheffler stepped up and hit the shot that every great pro wants to hit at 12. Put it right over that front bunker. Give yourself a 25, 30, 40, even 50-footer if you need to. Give yourself a putt. You can two-putt that green. You're probably not going to make par if you hit the water. You'd have to hold your third shot. So he did what he had to do, and by the time he leaves 13 with a 2-putt, birdie. You know, again, it's not over, but at that point, the die had been cast, as they say, and he's your winner again.
Do you think that Ober and Zalatoris are now the new race to see who gets a major first?
You know, I think Oberg is 1 for 1 in great showings in majors. I mean, Will's played a few more, but, you know, Will generally, when he's healthy, plays well in every tournament, especially majors. So let's see. I mean, let's see how Oberg does in Valhalla. I'd be shocked if he played poorly. He's already playing well again this week in Harbor Town. You know, he's got everything, and maybe most importantly, he's just got that moxie. he comes back from the double, makes par at 12. He hits the green at 2 and has the best look at eagle of anyone. I watched all 60 players come through the 13th hole Sunday. Nobody had a better look at eagle. And if he rolls that in, at that moment he was 3 back. If he rolls that in, you don't know. Well, he missed it. And then Scotty 2-putted for birdie, got on the 2 and 2-putted. Now it's still, it's still 3. And then O'Berg did birdie 14. And, so the kid just didn't go away even after hitting a shot that would have made a lot of guys, like Mark Collin. They doubled at 9, made another double at 11. He was kind of gone. Over, and that guy's got 2 majors. O'Berg, just even after the bad shot, just wouldn't go away. So that was great to see Will back. Nick followed him on Monday morning with Tiger walking around. And he's healthy again. He walked up to the first tee on Tuesday for a practice round, and my pal Bob Sturm of the ticket was there for the first time. And I said, hey, Will, look who it is. It's the great Bob Sturm of the ticket. He lit up, gives Bob a big hug, and it was just a hilarious moment. People were going like, who is Will Zalatoris hugging? A lot of people knew who Bob was. Bob got a lot of people stopping him, even at the Masters, for a Dallas Fort Worth sports guy. But funny moment, just all kinds of fun little moments like that.
Well, and I know we got a little bit of time, and I know you've got a busy day. I know you said maybe walking the dog now, but just real quick, talk a little bit about that getting to play. Well, we have time. It's my show. There you go. Talk about, of course, one of the dreams for every media person. My dream is one of those days to get there to get credentials and eventually be in that drawing as well. On Monday, media folks get to play Augusta. What was it like for you?
1996, it was my first Masters. Keep in mind now, this is in many ways the dark ages, if you want to look at it that way. The internet had not come along really. No one knew what it was in 1996. I'm there working for a radio station in Dallas, which was my employer. And I get a credential. I get there, meet a guy. He's a great guy, Reagan Lambert. He had a Christian radio a Christian sports talk show in Austin. And he said, hey, that they have a lottery for the media to play Monday morning. I was like, yeah, right. I'm sure he's pulling my leg. Like, there's no way I'm thinking that they let the media play the Masters Monday morning. He said, it's right there. Go look. And sure enough, he walked over to the entrance front desk of the media center, and there's a box. You put your name in. Well, I put my name in for the heck of it. Didn't have my clubs with me. In fact, Monday at 2 p.m. that year, when I went my first time, I had scheduled an interview with CNN Sports. I was working in Dallas. We were pregnant with my first child. And I maxed out where I was, and I needed to find another job. Well, I booked an interview at CNN Sports to try to introduce myself and try to maybe get a gig, in Atlanta. Well, they said, be at the golf course at 6:45 Monday morning. My interview was at 2. Atlanta's about 2 hours, 15 minutes from Augusta. I thought if I tee off at 7:30 even, play 4 hours, hop in the car, throw my sport coat on, I can be at CNN in time. Well, I went and rented some golf clubs at a local. So you're playing the dream round of your life with rigid clubs, Titleist XLs that I bought at Kmart on Sunday night, golf shoes I bought at Kmart on Sunday night, and some tees I bought at Kmart on Sunday night. I show up Monday morning at 6:45, along with the other 60 or 70 media people, plus a bunch of members, plus a bunch of big-time sponsors. Well, they're calling your name, and you go when they tell you to go. Obviously, you're not going to, barge your way in. 7 o'clock comes, 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, they still haven't called my name. 9 o'clock, they still haven't called my name, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to make it. I can't do this. I call the guy at CNN. I say, do you think that I could come in a little bit later today? He said, no, I'm booked the rest of the day. Why? I swallowed and I said, I got a chance to play Augusta National this morning. Dead silence on the other end. He says, and you're still coming in? I said, yes, I really, really want to meet you. I want to introduce myself. I really want to, try to get a job there. He said, Grant, you've got to play. This is not up for debate. You're going to play Augusta National. I said, no, I really want this interview. He said, well, I got nothing the rest of the day. It's either 2 o'clock or nothing. And I had a flight back to Dallas at 6:30 that night. He said, well, I'll see you if you come, but I really don't. I think you ought to stay and play. I said, thank you. I'll see you at 2 o'clock. So at 9:45, they call my name, teed off on the first hole, played 9 holes at Augusta National, and walked off after 9, hopped in the car, returned my rental clubs, dashed to Atlanta. As you might guess, Ryan, the CNN Tower is not like running in to get a sandwich at Subway in a strip mall. It's a little more complicated. Traffic in Atlanta is a little more than I was bargaining for. By the time I walked into this guy's office, it's 10:35. So not only am I killed up the second night at Augusta National, I've made myself 35 minutes late. He was very kind, shook my hand, took my reel-to-reel tape, my 3/4 inch videotape that I gave him of all my, award-winning work, from K-Texas and elsewhere. And I said, he said, well, it's great to meet you. How was Augusta? I said, well, not as long as I would have liked. And after about 10 minutes, I walked out of his office. I slinked back to my car and just said, what did I just do? I never heard from him, never got the job, but all's well that ends well. 8 years later, I got to go play Augusta National with a member. We played 2 straight days, got to play the par 3 course, and it was magical.
That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Well, and I know we're up against the hour, but I cannot let you go without talking about a night that we've got coming to Abilene, Texas. The Annika Women's World All Pro Tour is coming. We had Annika on the show a few weeks ago, but we're going to get a chance to meet Hall of Famer number 2, Judy Rankin, coming to be a part of the WAPT that week. Talk a little bit about why people should, if they're still available, get a table.
Judy Rankin is Vern Lundquist. She and Vern are, they're basically, from that same generation. They're both legends. They're both revered. No one ever says a negative thing about either one of them. Judy, even more than Vern, Judy is a pioneer. She was the first woman to be part of men's golf broadcast. She followed Tiger around in the middle of his heyday. She worked for ABC, ESPN before coming to Golf Channel. And she's been my dear friend and partner for a decade on Golf Channel's broadcast. Still does a few events a year, mostly retired. But this event is going to honor Judy Tuesday night, April the 30th at the Abilene Country Club. You can call the club to get tickets. We're bringing her in. We're going to celebrate her. She just last week at the Masters at the Golf Writers Association of America dinner received the PGA of America Lifetime Achievement Award in Journalism. I was fortunate to MC that event and do a Q&A with her. We're going to have an evening with her talking about her life in golf, talking about how she got started. She was a Sports Illustrated cover girl when she was a teenager, became an LPGA Hall of Fame player, then now this, legendary broadcaster as well. It'll be a big night. It's the kind of night we don't get to Abilene very often. To have someone of her stature come. It's a great time in women's golf. We got Nelly Korda trying to win a 5th straight tournament this week down in Houston. We did a tie the all-time LPGA record. And it'll just be great fun. I mean, it'd be incredible. The event, as you say, the tour is now sponsored by Annika. Annika went to 1-5 in a row back 20 years ago, and now Nellie's trying to do the same. Great time, and Judy's been there. Judy has seen Mickey Wright, Kathy Whitworth, all the way up to Nellie Coulter, so she's seen it all.
Well, again, Grant, we appreciate you taking the time. We'll talk more about the WAPT. It's right around the corner. Our crew is going to be playing in the Pro-Am. We're excited about that. It'll be the first time we get Misty on the golf course, so we'll see how that goes. But again, not with Judy Rankin. Grant will be emceeing that. We'll tables or checking on with Coralie at the club to make sure there's possible tickets available for that Tuesday night. And I want to encourage everybody to go out and watch these pro girls out at Abilene Country Club. They're fantastic to watch, great young ladies, and great free entertainment. So, Grant, we appreciate it. I know it's been a fun week. Of course, Augusta, and of course, Scotty, and all the things that you got to experience, especially with Nick. I know that was special as well. And of course, all the ticket guys, and highly recommend check out the John Ramadan. We'll get that podcast up too, so they can listen to that fun stuff. But Grant, appreciate it. You're always very kind to join us, and look forward to hearing you and seeing you soon.
Anytime. See you around town.
All right, again, Grant Boone from the Golf Channel and the LPGA. When we come back, Misty's bag right after this. Thanks, Grant. Appreciate it, man.
All right, buddy.
We'll see you. You too.
Locally
Bye.
managed by Chris Mike and Matt Beard. Stanford and Haskell, we are local with a highly trained and professional plumber living in Haskell. BlackPlumbing.com. The pros who know are ready to go. Call on Black Plumbing. Help is on the way.
That to-do list you have needs one more thing. Chill. It's an easy thing to do. Just crack open an ice cold Coors Light.
I'm sure it's fine, but there might be like
Take the afternoon
some dead air on the
off,
recording
binge watch anything. Go
because,
to happy hour and stay
and then
for
it
a
picked
couple
up,
hours.
so we didn't miss
Or
anything.
hang out
But
with
while we're
just your
sitting
dog,
there,
'cause
it
you
just
had enough
stopped.
human interaction
Well, there
this
was
week.
something going
Whatever
on.
you do
And I
it
hit
with Coors
play
Light.
on the
What? Panic.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Life and everything in between. Again, want to thank Grant Boone for joining us, coming in on our Pest Patrol phone line. Don't forget, check out Pest Patrol 673-6700. If you have anything bugging you, let the yellow trucks come your way and take care of that. We are now all three of us. Misty joining us. How's everything going, Misty?
Fantastic. It's Friday. It's going to be a good weekend. Softball tourney for my kid. It's going to be great. What about you, Josh? What are you doing this weekend?
Well, we got baseball. I mean, this is all pending. They say it's going to rain all night, so
Right.
we'll see. I mean, we need the rain, so I'd gladly make that trade and have a rain out. But it's going to be cold, so it's kind of weird. I mean, cold is relative, but in the 50s, it has been much warmer, so got to make adjustments for that, I guess. But then we're going to the rodeo in San Angelo on Saturday night.
That's going to be fun. Like everybody, or just you and me?
Yeah, everybody. The San Angelo Rodeo is one of the premier events actually in rodeo, and they have what they call the Cinch Shootout, which is a different kind of format than your basic rodeo, but it had the same events. But there's some big names in the rodeo world there, and it's a sold out crowd and all of those things. So that's the plan for Saturday night.
It is a big deal, and it's such a big deal because I remember in the Bullock Museum that you was going through, and this is since Chris and Jackie had moved to San Angelo.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Bullock Museum, there's a section of we're talking about rodeos and all that, and San Angelo was in there, and they were in the video or something. I'm like, well, that's Chris and Jackie. I know
You're
that.
famous.
Can I get y'all to sign my program for the Bullock Museum? But anyway, so we are up again. We're going to kick off hour number 2. So we're going to do station identification, and then we'll have one of our favorite segments. Ooh, that was close to saying off the bat. We'll pause real quick.
I'm not sure what you're doing.
He's having a Misty moment.
Stanford, Abilene, 106.9 FM, your home for real country music. Country Giant Radio.
All right, we are back, and now it is time for, again, one of our favorite segments.
Today is a fun day because we have the sponsor of my bag with us that's going to be on a little bit later. So Kyle King is in the house from Mulligan's. And so we're so excited that he's going to come on here in a little bit. This segment has been a lot of fun. And this question actually comes from one of my coworkers. So she sent this to me, Kaylee, and she was like, I have a question that I want you to ask. So this is her question that she found. So here we go. If you had to survive on one grocery aisle for a month, which aisle would you choose and why? This is a hard one for me, I'm not going to lie. So you have to pick one grocery store aisle that you're going to live on for a month.
Well, this is a tough question, obviously, because you need 4 food groups and to really get out there and play your best. But in my 69 years here on Earth, I think that the most important thing that you need is you got to have a little protein. So I'm thinking I'd find the snack food aisle. You could have your beef jerky. You could have some maybe some chips, some candy. You could maybe make it a month off that.
Oh
my gosh.
Josh had to take a
Good
step
job,
out.
Josh.
Josh taking a step out, bringing in Bruce Bochy. For the record, we'll probably have Bruce Bochy once a week now. Sorry, First Making Trust, we have now been endorsed by the fake Bruce.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
So, I was hoping you would say, name a fast food place you could live for a year. That would be another fun
I know.
one.
Do y'all know what a grocery store is? Do y'all ever go into a grocery store?
I know you're talking to me and
Uh-huh.
Trey. Yeah, oh,
Uh-huh.
He
100%.
just gets Doritos
I
at the Allsup's.
And mac and cheese at Mulligan's.
Yeah. So, obviously, I think you got to be strategic because on the aisle, like at some of the grocery stores, you can have Do I get all the way down?
At the whole aisle.
Because, like at some of them, you got chips, and then you go one little down, you got maybe candy or whatever. For how long?
1 month.
That's all you're doing. You're eating.
All whatever's on that aisle. Like if it's the cereal aisle, all you're getting is cereal, but you don't have any milk because milk is not.
I don't
on the
like
same
milk
aisle.
anyway. I eat it dry.
Apparently, yeah, of course he doesn't like milk. He's a child.
So
Molly eats her cereal dry, like in a bowl with a
Is
spoon, and it baffles me.
Really?
are we by any chance on the? Are we in together? Because if this
No,
Can you
like
throw something
I'm not
in
going to
there?
give you my
Josh.
meat.
Throw me,
You're not getting my
throw me
meat.
an orange.
Yeah, it's not happening. I'm keeping the meat. Yeah, you're not, or whatever aisle.
That's what she said. But so I'm a big cereal guy, so I think I could handle it. Probably the cereal aisle or the chip aisle would be the one that I would probably be able to function the most. The fact that you have nothing to wash any of this down is a problem.
Oh yes.
Can I
that's
at
a
least
problem.
have a beverage?
No,
Then
you cannot. There are no free
I-
beverages.
I think you couldn't just stay in the beer fridge. But honestly, I think the only aisle that you could survive on would be the like produce, because at least because you can't, or you just have to, I don't know, drink water. If you stayed on that aisle, maybe there's some Slim Fast. I don't know. You've got me really thinking how you could actually survive.
I know.
I don't,
This is hard. This is a hard question.
But Kaylee, I appreciate your question, but you can't. How long? You have to for a month.
A month. I love the randomness of this question. Obviously, this is why we love
but
this
here's
bag.
the deal, Kaylee. We got to have water because it's scientific proof, right? That you can't go without water.
I think there is a water
If
and
you-
like goldfish aisle. At least at HEB, there's water, and then I think there is like crackers and goldfish on one aisle.
well, that's-
So I don't know. I wouldn't.
Why
want
is goldfish aisle so cool? Get drinks.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
then,
it's not with the
you
meat.
could just be in the checkout line because there's a cooler of water and beef jerky. So
Well,
that's what
and-
you have
and
to survive
candy.
for a month.
Candy,
Yeah.
gum, mints, your own water. Josh wins.
Doesn't the beer aisle have like chips and popcorn and stuff? Could you just drink
I
I
beer
don't
for
know.
a month?
Not ever been over there.
I'll
I have
just
no
have
idea.
the munchies for a month. Yeah.
I don't
What
know
is
where-
beer?
where is that?
What is
No,
beer?
but what I'm saying is right. Josh wins. You don't need an aisle. Just camp out at your favorite checkout spot, and you're there. You've got gum, beef jerky. There's a chance in that month somebody's going to come with a new trinket thing that you can try out
you
there.
can play.
You're
yeah.
going to have your
Yeah.
own cooler
You
of
get a
water,
toy.
Cokes, Gatorade, all
That's
that.
not an aisle.
It's that. Well, I guess it could be. Oh, Josh,
There's batteries.
Josh. Not
No, it is not. I'm
No,
mixing
no,
this.
no,
It is
listen.
not an
No,
aisle.
stay with me. Stay
no.
with. No, listen. You're
The
This is-
sabotage.
This is not a hijack. He has a point.
It is not an aisle. The
Josh,
checkout is not an aisle.
No, if you start at one end and go all the way through and never turn, you're going to run into a checkout. So that is part of my aisle. I am
Oh my
straight
gosh.
parallel.
Woo, we're
Boom.
reaching. I need some boots.
How we
This is
reaching?
a reach.
No, look.
Yes.
If I walk straight through here,
Mhm.
through the glass, through that wall, is that wall part of my aisle?
End cap to end cap aisle. The checkout does not
Now
not
you're making
count.
more rules as we go along.
She is.
I mean, if he's going to, so am I.
No, I think Facebook listeners. tweet,
No.
Tell me, yes. So, but here's the other deal. If you go all the way through, I'm going to go, we're right by the mall, Toasty Life Studio, right here in the Mall of Abilene, next door to Market Street. If I come into Market Street, take a little left, pick any of those aisles. And if I look at that aisle, you know what's behind me? Check out. Then I can go all the way to the back, and if you pick it correctly, you're going to run into the wall of freezers where you could possibly hit the tea aisle, orange juice, maybe the butter. I don't know what over there. So,
Butter.
so if I go from there to end, yeah, I pick an aisle because I've got beef
Look,
jerky.
now he's excited. He's like, let's do this.
We're going to do this for a month. Y'all remember when
We're gonna walk in the store and it's not gonna line up. it's going to go like
Somebody
this,
will.
and the aisle's going to go like this,
You
and
can't deviate.
you can't deviate.
Okay, that's fine.
So you are screwed.
No, we're gonna as soon as this
I'm gonna
show's
eat
over.
oranges and watermelon.
All right, so
Ooh,
Josh is in the.
that's
All right, so
actually
you're sorry. I'm chips and cereal all the way down to my checkout. Where are you at?
Mixing you. I'm trying to think. I guess I'm going to go water and goldfish aisle at HEB. I know specifically this aisle, and it's all like Propels, waters, Crystal Light things. And they have like crackers, Nutella bars. I think I'm going to do that. I get some sweets, crackers. I don't know if there's beef jerky on that aisle, but I think I could survive off of that. Chips.
I'm not gonna lie. I wish.
And I'll go all the way down and get the meat at the end of the aisle because we just keep going forever, apparently.
If it's straight, it's at the
It's
end.
not. It's not allowed.
Hey,
Sorry, Kaylee.
those
This is
of
what
it-
he does.
No, if anybody's listening and on your way to Market Street before you go to work, please take a picture, send it to us. We'll give you a hat, koozie, and we'll get you a gift card somewhere. If you will just go do that. Somebody head over to Market Street right now. In fact, if you can come
Well,
to
they
the
have that little
mall.
restaurant over there. You can just hang out there.
No, that's not your aisle.
It's
my
not.
aisle has the fried chicken and the mashed potatoes.
So the aisle, you could do the very back of HEB where it's literally meat, bacon, butter, milk. It's like that
Orange
whole
juice.
back.
What are you going to do with that meat?
Cheese.
I'm gonna eat that meat.
Where are you going to cook it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I don't have any way to cook
Wah,
it.
wah, is what just happened.
I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm gonna cook
She's
it.
going to be literally. You're going to have to be the tiger off of Hangover and eating it straight raw.
Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that
I
is.
gotta go with the beef jerky.
All right, we're going to go to commercial. That is our Mulligan's. I don't know. Hey, tell you what, we're going to be back right after this. Go find your meat.
Can we get a drop that
How
says,
many-
I'm going to eat that meat?
I'm
And
gonna
just
eat that
push a
meat.
button and it
Oh
plays.
my
That's
god.
my meat.
That's my
Can
meat.
you please make the drop?
Hey,
And
for the
just push
record,
that
we're
button.
live on Facebook.
I'm literally crying. Oh my gosh, that was funny.
Auto, okay.
But then yeah, I guess I can't cook it. Oh my
Misty
gosh.
non raw meat.
Oh man.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, our next promo when we have like our little sounders, that could be mine. People are gonna be like, "What are they talking about?" Oh yeah, I'll just tell Kaylee that was a good one. Super random. Oh my gosh, I literally am crying. Like that was so funny.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh man. I know, yeah. We've made friends with all of them. A lot of them. Like they'll combine waves. Some of them like, yeah, there is. I'm gonna show this. You're done in here? Well, all I can say is you're welcome for that sounder that you're going to be able to now put into existence. That was funny. I started cry laughing when Josh threw the piece of paper. I was like, I'm done.
As soon as he said that, Josh and I made
I know. I was like, I can't look at y'all. Oh, funny. Okay, now we're back on Molly, or right, like Kyle's up.
We're gonna we're gonna make him our My Town segment.
Right. Give him also shout out. He was named finalist for the Chamber Business of the Year.
You're gonna do that.
I'll do that. I'll throw a shout out in there.
Josh, as he said that, you and I made eye contact.
I know.
You threw the paper, and I was like, I can't look at either one of y'all.
I didn't mean to throw the paper.
No.
I moved and it fell and I tried to catch it and it went up in the air.
We just derailed the last minute of that segment. It's fine.
Oh, man.
I told them next time we do it, you know how they'll do a promo for us, and it'll be like a one-liner for each of us. You can be Bochi. I'll do whatever about the meat, whatever I said, and then
You have to cut that into a flip or a drop so I can just
Send it to
text
me.
it to people.
I
I can edit it off of the
Oh yeah.
YouTube, like I did the.
God,
What you got
the
in that
burrito
bag?
and the burrito. He got me good with the burrito.
Oh God.
Pretty close when you come in.
Welcome back. We did not have time to run over to the Market Street to prove that I am correct. We will do that a little bit later. Maybe go
Field
Facebook.
trip.
Honestly, if we can get approval, we'll make it Facebook Live. But it is time for our Big Country Electric My Town segment, brought to you by Big Country Electric Cooperative, who serves their members each and every day from Roby, Snyder, and Stanford. We appreciate them and all that they do. Will, Sarah, and of course, want to give a shout out. This week was yesterday was National Lineman Day. Recognition of those that work in the utility world, linemen for our NRCA co-op folks. And so I want to say congratulations and thank you to all of our linemen across the big country at Big Country Electric for keeping the lights on, hot, cold, icy, all those things. We appreciate all that they do. And so for them and their families, when they go out on a call, leaving their home to go get lights back on for other members. So we appreciate them very much. We highlight a local player, coach, or program, and today we're highlighting a local place, award nominee place, some exciting things going on. You hear their back. Well, I'm not sure he's here for this first episode of hearing his Misty's Bag live, which I'm surprised he stayed. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't go.
Actually, you're welcome.
Yeah, all of you are welcome. But joining us in studio, Kyle King from Mulligan. So, Kyle, appreciate you taking time this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited.
All right, so a lot of things going on this week. Of course, well, we can't not talk about and have you here. Of course, you've got your golf league and golf happening at Mulligan's. It's one of the things that you can do, one of the many things. Real quick, what was your thoughts on Scotty winning Green Jacket number 2?
Oh, it was awesome. Scotty was my pick from the get-go. He's just been too hot, plus he's a Longhorn. Big fan of that. But he's just playing the best golf right now. He's throwing darts and just doing what he does. I mean, he's kind of unbeatable right now.
Well, and so, of course, a lot of things, Misty, if Clay was, if let's say you're pregnant and Clay is having a chance to win the Green Jacket, would you tell him to stay and win the tournament or get home for the delivery of this baby?
If he left while I was pushing that baby out, I'd be mad. Like, stay, I'll see you when you get done and bring all the Benjamins home.
No, so you're saying if he would have left Augusta to come home.
Yeah, I would have been like, no, what are you doing? Like, it's fine. Stay there. I got this, and I'll see you whenever you get done.
Well, and of course, I know it's hard for us because we, in his world, he's doing that every week playing golf. And he's won a Masters and all that, but it was pretty interesting. That was the topic a lot during the week of that. But anyway, again, Scotty Scheffler winning his second Green Jacket. But we want to talk, again, Misty, you mentioned it off air, how this has been a big week for Mulligan's with Abilene Small Business Awards that are coming up.
Yeah, so every year Abilene Chamber of Commerce has a small business kind of segment, if you will, where they have several businesses that get nominated. And this year, Mulligan's is a finalist for Family-Owned Small Business of the Year. And I'm just super excited. I'm hoping that they win it. Right now, we don't know. We won't know until May 7th. But I'm just so excited because if you know the background of Mulligan's, you know how deserving this family is of hopefully winning this award. And I can't be more excited for my friends.
So what did that mean to you as a business owner? I know, of course, you and your dad, the vision that is now what is Mulligan's. What did it mean when you saw the people in the community nominating you and being proud of, I guess, I don't know, seeing your name amongst those businesses? What did that mean when you saw that?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, you don't understand how thankful we are to even be nominated, much less be a finalist for it. We were nominated with other great companies in Abilene, and that's what it's all about. We couldn't do that without the customers. we have a good team right now, and it just really goes a long ways knowing that people recognize how hard you do work. And some people don't understand how hard you work and in this kind of industry.
Well, and yours is more than just a restaurant. You've got the golf course, you got volleyball. I mean, you've got, not everybody when they go to somewhere to eat have to be sure they have somebody that has the range pickup and all that. And you're not just mowing the front yard of the restaurant. You've got 9 holes to keep up and all that. And so, and I don't think we do. I've never worked in food industry or restaurant industry, but you're in the service industry and the people. And, we talk about it. You want to be sure when people come to Mulligan's, they get that experience that we brag about. And so it does take having the right team and people. And I think that's one of the things y'all do a really good job of.
Yeah, and it's tough. It's a tough industry, but it's fun at the same time. It's fun to see people having fun outside, hanging out outside, listening to music, playing volleyball, hitting golf balls, and just enjoying their time. And, sometimes you have to sit and just kind of look around and soak it all in.
Right.
Well, and what I love about Mulligan's, and we've talked about it, but obviously Kyle's in the house today, but like the fact that you said you can do so much there. I mean, all of the things that they do, the cornhole tournaments, the fundraisers they put on to benefit families that are struggling, concert series. I mean, literally Mulligan's is always thinking of something new and fresh to bring to Abilene. And there's no other place in Abilene like it or in the big country. And I think that, don't sleep on Mulligan's. If you're listening right now and you've never been, man, go out and see some of these locally talented artists. I mean, I was there last week and Caleb Sutton was there. I've never heard him, 19 years old. I mean, absolute pleasure to watch him perform. And so, I mean, it's just awesome. If you have not been, go out. You will not be disappointed. And, also don't sleep on the tater cakes.
That was the most non-Hickway you've ever said.
I tried.
I still kind of leaned into it.
Yeah, she really hung on to that G. But so, of course, we're excited. Next week, coming in, you got some exciting stuff to announce next week. But talk about some of the things that y'all do during the week. You've got a Monday night staple of, I'll let you talk about of Gendo and some other things that are coming up even to this weekend. Just kind of briefly on that.
Yeah, so we've got things going just about every night of the week. Monday nights we do Gendo, and if you haven't come out and played Gendo, you were seriously missing out. It's a musical bingo. That's awesome. It's so much fun. People have a blast doing it. Tuesday nights we do karaoke, which is always a good time. Wednesday night we do Bucket Wednesdays, where you buy a bucket of beer and you get a free small bucket of range balls with that. And it's a hit. We do that on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thursdays just kind of our day that we get into, ready for the weekend. And Friday, Saturdays we do live music. This Friday night we have the Jack Creek Band, which is always a pleasure to listen to. And then Saturday night we have the talented Chrissy Phillips. So we've got a weekend full of music this weekend.
Right, and Chrissy Phillips, part of the Della Rose group, and of course Jack Creek is Jim Sadler, who I think is one of the most talented people in the big country in the state of Texas when it comes to music, because Jim just does a great job of just playing all the goods and all his old favorites. And but that you definitely, Gendo was a lot of fun. Pest Patrol, Weldon and Debbie, they got into it and they love it as well. Gendo's a lot of fun. And of course, live music, and again, we'll have Kyle back next week with the fun big announcement. But the other thing that we want to talk about, we cannot have it. The four, not the Four Horsemen. What would be a fun name? But us four are playing golf a week from Monday at a pro-am that Grant was talking about it. We got the Annika tournament coming in a week from Monday. What's your thoughts? I think we need to get out to Mulligan's probably next week and maybe a promo video of what we're going to see. I will tell you this, Josh, she was shopping for golf clothes. Were you?
I was, and it came in. And I actually have a selfie from this morning, and just saying I'm going to look great.
So, Josh, what are your thoughts? I mean, you're in baseball coaching season, yard season. I'm saying, what's your thoughts of what should people expect a week from Monday?
Anything short of total disaster will be a surprise. That's really what I expect.
Well, we at least got Kyle. We have an A player, and I'm not sure who's going to
Easy.
We're going to rock, paper, scissors. Who's B?
Well,
It's not going to be me.
No, there's no debate.
Let's just hope they give us a really good pro.
I have not swung a golf club. Let me think about this. For sure, in this calendar year, I got too much going on.
This is sounding very promising.
We're working on getting a camera crew to maybe follow us. That would be a lot of fun. Does anybody know anybody that would want to just follow us for 18 holes?
Anyone that stupid, I don't know that we want to put up with them.
Well, no, I think it would be. I think they would. Maybe that'd be our. We'll go full swing.
Yeah,
Full
the reality
swing.
show.
Reality show Hodge, the Hodge Pack on the golf course. So Kyle, are you sure you're ready for this?
I'm excited. I'm ready to have a good time with it. I think we'll have a lot of fun. We might not win, but I guarantee we're going to have fun.
Yep.
Well, that might's probably, unless we get, maybe Annika's playing. She'll be our pro. Can we get Annika Sportsdam to be our pro? But again, no, a lot of great things happening at Mulligan's. Again, they're on Ben Ritchie Drive. Weather's coming. Misty mentioned it. You can eat, you can hang out, you can play pool. We've played darts. Was it your 40th? No, not your 40th birthday. What
Hey, easy. Don't age me.
We
My
had
30th birthday party
it was
was
your
just last month.
30th.
and
Oh yeah.
yeah, darts and the pro shop, pool, volleyball. I mean, like I said, literally cornhole. I mean, you can do anything out there. So get off the couch, y'all, and get to Mulligan's.
Y'all.
Y'all. But Kyle, again, we appreciate you coming in. Well, again, Kyle will be back next week. But we just want to let you know again, Jack Creek Band tonight, Chrissy Phillips tomorrow night. And of course, you can catch some lunch, great food. Steak fingers still top notch.
That's my jam.
Of course, I give him a hard time about. I'm not going to do it on the radio. I'm not going to do it on the radio. He knows probably what I'm about to say. Anyway, but it's such great food. I love it. Again, steak fingers, the tater kegs, all of it. We all got introduced to the tater keg when we started going over there after softball.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal. Patio, just a lot of good stuff. Great place to be, and you'll definitely want to be there this weekend. Great music. So check it out this week again, Mulligan's. And of course, we appreciate them being supporters of the show always. So we appreciate it and look forward to the great things that are coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm excited for next weekend.
All right, so be ready. When we come back, we're going to see. We'll figure it out. We'll
We have
good
no
night,
idea.
Almighty. We'll be back. What's in that?
Man, I really jacked y'all up with the meat. Like the
Oh my
meat.
gosh,
The
Misty.
meat like segment.
Sorry. Can they hear?
Oh yeah, they can hear. Yeah,
Sorry.
no, yep. They're not sorry, and no, you're not.
We're back to just ambient mic.
Good
Until I can figure it
job.
out.
That was a good
I don't know what
segment.
happens, but yeah.
That was great.
Which right now it's fine. I mean, honestly, that's what they're getting right now. That's what they like, right?
Well,
Y'all liking when she gets on the
sound's
meat?
better when it goes through the mic, though. That's on the YouTube.
This
Oh,
does, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the YouTube.
On the old YouTube.
We went to that internet thing.
That was good. You did good.
Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having me
much.
on.
Let's take a quick pic before you leave.
Oh, yeah.
Yay, I know you're so excited.
Josh loves it.
I do.
Dang it, I meant to bring my little tripod thingy because it is hard to.
You want the selfie stick?
I do, but Joshua has the longest arms.
All right.
Let's get like right here. I don't know if you put it straight or. Get close.
This is a new phone.
Oh.
That's not the
Come on.
What's
This is live experience yet.
what's your right button?
Get it.
Best atmospheres
Can I do it?
amazing food, great drinks,
No.
music, TVs, and what's your
I couldn't find those buttons. Let me see if I can get this right. That looks great. Do it. Maybe just touch the
Get them all
button.
Walker.
Oh yeah, get them all Walker.
Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi.
That's funny. We're gonna make it work.
Oh, God.
Actually, it's really cute.
I
Josh.
appreciate it, man.
Look good.
Look,
Appreciate
it's
it.
really cute.
That's not bad at all.
It's very
Not
good.
bad.
So
Just crack open a nice
Photo cred.
for Monday, what
Take the
what
afternoon
do you
off and binge watch
would it be
anything.
being Atlanta?
Go to happy hour and stay for a couple hours.
Mine was to I don't know if I can. Like I said, the next week, the 29th, I wouldn't be able to
Because you've had
play.
enough human interaction this
And
week.
then I'm going to be going
Whatever you do,
in June.
do it with a Coors Light. Mountain Cold
And
Refreshment.
well, we
June
June will
Coors Brewing
be.
Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate
It's 8 weeks.
So what would I?
It's 8 weeks. You'll need it.
Oh,
If you're gonna miss a couple, I would need to make sure. You know what I mean?
right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be over.
It'd be different if we were like
Yeah.
1 and 2 or.
Yeah.
This is the fit. Do I look like a golfer?
No, you got the look.
Isn't that cute? I think it looks
Oh, yeah.
great. That's the fit.
Oh, yeah.
See?
We're going to get one. We're
I
going
got
to get
this.
matching
You
ones.
got this way?
Yeah, just go out regular mall.
I'm gonna just do a lap. Gotta get it on there.
Please
See
do.
you
You're
walk
like,
back.
woo!
See,
Bye, see you
Pump
later.
your arms.
He needs the shake weight. Could you imagine? Like, he's like, but yeah, that's gonna be my fit. I'm gonna wear that. I do have like a little tennis skirt thing, but I don't like it. So I'm gonna wear shorts instead.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between. I figured we hadn't had a disaster of the week, but me going into that last commercial break, I kind of felt like that. So that little disaster, it's been a funny show. Everything in between has very much been highlighted, from our grocery store shopping to, everything in between. But we're glad that you're with us this morning. Again, Kyle King joining us from Mulligan's. Check everything out that week. Want to give a shout out to Potosi Live. So we're celebrating 3 years this month. So congratulations to Chris and Moy and Donovan and their whole team on celebrating 3 years being out there at Potosi Live. So congratulations to them. I know y'all probably saw they had the RV show, but they had to move it because weather not looking real good to be outside for. I wouldn't want somebody coming in muddy eating up a X amount $1,000 worth of RV. So wouldn't want that. That would be bad.
No, and you talk about another venue in Abilene that's no place like it is Potosi Live. I mean, they're doing all the things out there, and I couldn't be more happy for them also. That is a very, very cool venue.
Well, I just appreciate them and again, Lytle and
And
Mulligan's.
Lytle just finished their.
Yeah.
I hadn't been by to see their
So we're gonna
remodel.
Yeah.
So we need to do
We need
that.
a Hodge Pack lunch.
Well, we need a
soon.
Hodge Pack lunch, but I want to. We're going to actually bring Daniel in, the GM there, once and kind of let him talk about what they did, maybe why they did it, all those things on adjusting. And so, but I can't wait to go in there as well. We just appreciate again. We don't say it enough, but thank you to the people that trust us to not only just here on the Hodge Pack, but KLGD. We thank y'all for supporting local radio and trusting us on promoting your business. And so we appreciate you guys very much. Now, one of the things I put in our rundown, and then we'll go to our knowings at the battle with Josh, is I don't know how much TV y'all watch, but it seems like, and I would have mixed emotions on, I guess, the dollar amount if they wanted to use it on us, is Abigail the movie has been like they bought every time slot, I think, on the stuff I like, or maybe they're just trying to scare me. I don't know. But it got me thinking, do scary movies or have scary movies lost its luster? Now, I think the basis of this movie is this Abigail basically turns into some crazy little kid and starts eating people and biting them, and I don't know.
A typical toddler. Cool.
Yeah. Tantrum to an extreme. So I put it on Facebook, has scary movies lost its luster? And then what is your favorite genre of movie? And so what y'all's thoughts on scary movies? I mean, was it something because people love them and they're going to watch every one of them. What is y'all's take on scary movies?
So my mom, y'all are gonna laugh, but my mom was a big scary movie fan. And one of the first movies that I saw in a movie theater was The Exorcist. This is a true story. I was definitely probably too young to be watching that. But my mom took us, and it was like a double feature night. And it was The Exorcist and then Backdraft, which was so weird that they were the same.
Backdraft.
Yeah, that firefighter movie. And so The Exorcist was my first movie. And of course, as a small child, scared the crap out of me. I do not remember how old I was, but I should not have been there. I can tell you that. But my mom loved them, and she would make all of us sit there. And I remember we'd all fight to sit closest to her because we were all scared out of our minds. And so that's a super funny memory of my mom that I have. But I personally, probably because I was tormented as a child and made to watch scary movies, I am not a big fan. And I do feel like they've kind of lost their luster, like all the Halloweens and Freddy versus Jason and, kind of movies that were big when we were growing up. They're just not my jam. I'm not going to pick to go watch a scary movie.
Right. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not sure that I'm really the most qualified to answer this question because I kind of feel like all movies have lost their luster a little bit. That there's very rarely a movie now that I see advertised that I feel like, man, I want to go watch that. It happens occasionally, but it used to be more of a thing. But I don't like scary movies anymore because I have bad dreams.
To me, the irony is like you would think, and I don't know how much a lot of it was COVID and all that stuff, but the funny thing to me is technology, graphics, and all that are better than they've ever been. But the scary movies that probably resonate more with folks is the Freddy Kruegers, the Nightmare on Elm Streets, the Halloweens early on, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, those things where everybody always talked to the TV. When the music starts, you better run.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, you could hear it right now. We could all hear the sounder for one of those movies and we would know what it was. That's the scariest thing in that, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. I just scared all of our listeners, and I'm sorry, but it's freaking scary, like hearing those.
Well, and the reason I brought that up is because this Abigail movie is very, like, it's been on just repeat on commercials. And so I've never, the irony, I don't know if the irony is the right word, but one of the first movies I thought was kind of not scary, but like got bought into was the first Scream.
I thought you were going to say Saw.
Well, I'll go with that.
Because that could really happen.
All right, so that both of those. Scream could happen. And in today's time, unfortunately, we're seeing that.
Right.
All it takes is one person to go on any kind of weird, scary spree.
Yeah.
But then Saw was Saw is the one I was mentioning earlier in our Warren Saw headline report, Josh, was that Saw should have started with one and ended with one.
Yeah, I totally agree.
When they started doing the sequels of Saw, it was like, and then Tracy and I, which is weird because we went and saw the last one because we felt obligated because we saw 1 through whatever.
Yes.
And so we felt obligated to go see it. But see, now from a genre standpoint, Tracy, thriller, suspense, she wants Olympus has fallen. I mean, she watches Taken like some people watch Legally Blonde. I mean, she loves those suspense movies. I like those. Of course, the good sports movies that are realistic at times, some are just not. Those are pretty good.
Is that your favorite genre? Like a suspense or thriller? Or what's your favorite genre?
Well, I mean, of course, my favorite movie of all time is Hoosiers. But I like the sports movie's good. I'll be honest with you, my favorite is I want to be laughing my tail off.
So comedy.
I'm comedy by far.
You're comedy. Josh, what are you? What's your favorite genre? I know you don't watch a lot of movies, but...
Well, Western movies are my personal favorite. But I'm in the suspense stuff and the scary movies that are kind of like the real life scary movie. I don't know if y'all... I can't remember if it's The Stranger or The Strangers.
That one can really happen too.
Where they're tormenting those people that are just at a house in the country and then all the stuff that goes with that. Or I Know What You Did Last Summer was one that's kind of in that. But those, and Scream is also not the weird Purge.
I know. I have like the heebie-jeebies right now.
not the like weird supernatural stuff, which I mean can be very scary, obviously, but that psycho person, serial killer, tormenting somebody, that genre of movie is one that I do enjoy it. But like I said, I really like. I stopped watching any of those movies because, and it's not like I cry myself back to sleep. But I'll have a nightmare and I'll wake up and I'll like have to like cool down. Like you wake up like in a pool of sweat, and
Relock all the doors.
Like,
yeah. Like what was that sound?
I don't know.
It is scary.
And again, I know it's sports life and everything in between, but that's one of the things that just kind of jumped out to me. It's like all these movies that are coming out. Of course, Accidental Texan, highly recommend if you can find it. I don't know if it's still in theaters or where it comes. It was a great movie. The good story movies are good, but that Abigail thing it cracks me up because it's been on everywhere. And so go see you a movie. But anyway, so a lot of people had Christian-based movies, thrillers and all that. So we appreciate those that have posted on Facebook about what movies are fun or don't like or whatever. But don't get scared this weekend. Have some fun and be safe. When we come back, we'll have knowings out the back.
Yeah, The Purge is one that was super scary.
Ironically, The Purge is what Tracy was going to go see when she purged into this.
Which is why we're grateful for your trust to provide the energy you need every day. Because for us, there's nothing more important than giving you the power to power on. You are the most important part of Big Country Electric Cooperative. Call, stop by our offices in Willoughby, Cider, and Stamford, or visit online at bigcountry.coop. Hello, evolution of the Big Country. My name is John Key. I am a resident at Disability Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredding business. Our services include routine pickups, purges, or we accept drop-offs at our state-of-the-art, safe, and secure facility. We are the DRI shredders, and we are here to assist and serve you in the destruction of your most private documents or any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years. Give us a call, 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Clark Street.
Did y'all see how lonesome's?
Yes.
He's not talking to me, just saying, fellas.
Oh,
There's something I need to tell y'all. I'm going through some things right now. Could you imagine the way that I would be kicked off the Hodge Pack? Hodge just missed that whole little bit. Oh my gosh. See, I'm like Tracy. I like a good whodunit. I love Taken. I love movies like that too. The suspenseful, but I do like a good comedy too. Do y'all do like movie dates a lot, like dinner and movie? That is honestly probably the perfect date for me. Like I love a dinner and a movie date, even if it's just at home. Or like shows. We just finished watching Ozark. Have y'all seen Ozark?
Mm-hmm.
So
we stopped watching. It got a little slow, and then it kind of fell off, and I hadn't picked it back up.
We picked it back up because we were the same. It's literally taken us like 2 years to finish it, but we just finished it last week or the beginning of this week, and I was glad that we went back and watched. It was good.
We're watching a show right now called Bosch.
Bosch?
Yeah, it's a he's a
Mom's a big fan of Elvis movies.
detective. Homicide detective.
See, I like shows like that too. I like documentaries. Like but I like the documentary where it tells you what happened to the person. Like, oh, this suspect is still at large. No, I want to know that y'all caught him and he got like life in prison.
Like Law-Abiding Citizen. Did you ever see that?
Law-Abiding Citizen is fantastic. Olympus Has Fallen. I like all of those. Man on Fire. Anything with Denzel Washington.
Man on Fire is a good one.
Yeah.
One of my favorite his movies was Ricochet.
I've never seen Ricochet.
John Lithgow was in it.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
I think that was called. I think that's what it's called.
I want to try to find some pink teas before we play.
I can get you a bunch of those from Peter Casey.
I want pink teas. So you the other day, this is the shirt I showed you, and you were like, "I don't really like it," and it's okay, right?
No.
You liked it? Okay.
Oh.
That's why I bought it, because it went with my shorts.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack. We're rocking and rolling in hour number 2, heading into the weekend. Hope you have plans for a lot of fun. Probably going to need some plans for indoor stuff, and that's where you can find those. Lotto, Mulligan's, Potosi Live. You can find those. Actually, Potosi Live is closed this weekend for events, so good thing we caught that. They got some events this weekend.
False advertising, Hodge.
No, it's not. It's accurate advertising.
Well, at first it was false. We said go there. Now you said you can't. Now I'm confused.
What's happening?
All right. Okay, go to the other 2 options. Anyway, so we're glad that you're with us. We're rocking and rolling. There are some tables still available for the Judy Rankin night. Call Abilene Country Club. It's April 30th. Judy Rankin, again, and Grant Boone will be emceeing that. But now it's time for one of our favorite times of the show, and that's getting a little bit smarter.
All right. There is something that everyone needs to know. Everybody, and I deal with this, and this is actually, it's poignant because it's not just something that you have to know how to react to. It's something that you need to know how to avoid putting someone else in the situation where they have to determine their reaction. But it has to do with how you respond and or avoid stupid questions. Hodge, have you ever been asked a question that you were baffled by the question's stupidity?
I mean, to an extent, yes. I've got theories on stupid questions, but go ahead. But yeah, we've been there. I've been there.
What about you, Missy?
Yeah, no, I think everybody's been there where you're just kind of like, wait, what?
And the reason that I thought about this is I received an email at work yesterday having to do with the file that I was working on, and the question on the email was so dumb that I had to step back and think that maybe I was missing something, because it seemed very obvious to me what the answer to this question was. And so it actually made me sit and think, like, dude, how do I answer this question without
Diplomatically.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could not think of a way to answer it without just basically saying you're an idiot, because just answering the question was like, did you read the email that was sent prior, or did you just send a question before you even read it, or if you did read that email, are you that dumb? So then that made me think.
Do you know this person? Like, well?
No.
Okay, I just needed some details.
Just some intercompany email
Gotcha.
exchange. Not someone that works in Abilene, so I'm not offending anyone out here knows personally. But so I stepped back and I thought, all right, am I missing something? Was my previous email not concise and clear to the point? Which I looked back at it, and it was. I do sometimes struggle, and my wife makes fun of me for this. I struggle with too concise sometimes, where I might leave out something that I just assume is common knowledge, but other people maybe don't know. But this was not the case. So then I had to answer by basically just putting the chart that was already in the previous email, just like back into the email and sending it back. Which I was like, I was very confused. So hadn't received a response to that yet, so I don't know what happened there. But then that made me think of all the times, and this is one of those moments that I don't know if y'all's experience is the same in this. If you're ever at a presentation, this can be a work presentation, it could be something like a church event or any sort of community event where there's a speaker who's talking, maybe in a group setting, and they offer the opportunity to ask a question. Okay? Do you ever raise your hand in that situation? Like, you ever like, I've got a question?
No, never.
No, I think that is the number one way to avoid asking a stupid question. Just don't ask a question.
Agree.
And you look for your context clues to figure out your answer, because 9 times out of 10, when I'm sitting in that meeting and someone raises their hands and asks a question, I think to myself, like, that they just talked about that, so like you didn't listen, A, or you're asking a question that if you look at the presentation, it's clearly being talked about later. Just like hold your horses for a second.
My struggle is the people that I feel like ask a question just because they want to be heard.
And
Yes.
that's the point. That's
They
where
want
I'm
the
getting.
attention on it.
I think most people in those situations just ask that question just to, like, I'm going to try to sound really smart by asking a question, and it doesn't work.
And then the presenter's like, we're going to get to that. And you're like, burn. That's my favorite.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I do think the hard part is, and I've come to this thought, the person that answers the question, and don't get me wrong, they always say there's no such thing as a stupid question.
That is a
Wrong.
lie. Lie from the pit of hell.
You sit on the throne of lies.
But I think what normally makes that a dumb question is how the person answers it. Because how you respond to that is what elevates it to a dumb question.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be a dumb question unless the person that answers it elevates it or de-elevates it to a dumb question.
Right. Well, we had this discussion. Oh my gosh, what football game was it? And the reporter was asking, and then she was like, "How are you going to handle the weather?" And he's like, "That 20 seconds in between, like we're playing in a covered, arena." Right. And so that it was like, oh gosh, bless her heart. Like
So he handled it in a way to make it not a dumb question, but
also was kind of like, what do you mean? The 20
pointed
seconds
out
from the bus?
how
Like,
it was.
right.
And so the key is to just avoid asking stupid questions. And like I said, the easiest way to do that is just don't ask a question. Make sure you're certain of your question before you don't just go off half-cocked and ask a question because you had a thought without putting any process in that dome thing is the perfect example. No thought process to what's going on. It's supposed to be very cold in Detroit, so I'm going to ask this question.
Yeah, and I'm going to assume you're not playing in a dome.
Right.
Right.
So generally, though, and this is, I have a strong desire to avoid asking stupid questions, which sometimes gets me in trouble because I have to go through a situation where I don't really know what's going on because I missed some information or was not granted that information. And y'all put me in that situation this week with the text conversation that I had no idea what was being talked about. And it was like going back and forth. And I'm sitting there trying, like, quite literally, I'm like, well, I should know this. I don't want to say something and admit that I don't know. Or maybe I was just not paying attention when it was presented. And I was like, that would be rude if I just admitted that I wasn't paying attention. So I was scrolling back through previous text messages to see if I had missed something.
But you really deep down, you took your own advice. You that was the equivalent of being able to Google for your answer before you asked the question.
Right. I didn't just like go off and ask a question and y'all be like, you're done. We talked to you about this last week. But I didn't know. I was not privy to the conversation. I was left completely in the dark and then somehow brought in the middle of it. And so I had to point that out.
And you're lucky.
Yeah. I still don't know what we were talking about. So
ironically, now you almost know.
Yeah, I do. I almost know. But, so I guess all that to say, if you have a question, try to answer it yourself. Try to find that answer before you ask a dumb question. And if you're presented a dumb question, it's always best to have some grace, but it's always more fun to point out how dumb the question was.
Well, and so all of you that are thinking about asking that question, ask it a few more times. But the good thing is knowing is half the battle, and Josh almost knows the battle. We'll be back right after this.
I do remember that now. That was Friday night, I think, and we had gone to Mulligan's, and we were sitting out on the patio. Caleb military guy being deployed.
Until very recent times.
Well, welcome back to the Hodge Pack as we get ready to head into the weekend and get you set ready for JB Cloud at 10. Of course, Greg Austin's Texas two-step. And don't forget Red Dirt Proud and High Lonesome all this week. A lot of going on here at KLGD. Appreciate you, again, listeners, sponsors, all of you helping us get to do what we love to do each and every day here. So as we get ready for the weekend, Misty, one of the things, of course, we talked about in the headline report, over 2 million people watched the WNBA draft. Not a game, not anything like that, the draft. And thoughts on, of course, I know a lot of it's been the Caitlin Clark dollar amount, but dollar amounts going a lot of places or coming in from other places for her. What's your thoughts on, and what will your thoughts be on the WNBA?
Yeah, so obviously I figured that Caitlin would go to the Fever, which she did. And, you know, of course, the biggest deal right now is how much NBA players make versus WNBA players make. And it's a huge difference. So I'm really glad to see, I think it was yesterday or the day before, that Nike has endorsed a shoe deal with Caitlin Clark, and I believe it's about $10 million. And so I'm super excited for her because I think, you know, as a first-year player in the WNBA, it was like $70-something thousand. And for a pro athlete, that's a very, very low number. And so I'm really glad that she's going to have some big endorsement deals so that she can get paid what a professional athlete should be getting paid, man or woman. And so that's really cool. I was really excited that Kate Martin got drafted because she was there solely to watch Caitlin Clark get drafted. And she just seems like such a sweet girl. And so that was really special because you didn't expect that was going to happen.
She didn't expect it.
No, nobody did. And so to me, that was my biggest takeaway. It really wasn't Caitlin Clark. We all kind of knew that was going to happen. My takeaway was just getting to see a girl with a dream that didn't think it was going to happen.
The irony is, and I know you say that, but what Caitlin Clark did and allow the exposure, and I'm not saying not everyone.
Oh, of course,
but
yeah.
it's allowing the game to grow and other people to get noticed. So it's just,
no, she's fantastic.
Again, I've said it all over, and I said last night, Scotty Scheffler won the Masters, and we were talking at the Country Club last night about Caitlin Clark. Josh, do we have a World Series preview this weekend?
I mean, solid chance. Atlanta's definitely on the tops of the National League, and I do think the Rangers have the opportunity to straighten it out, fully and be firing on all cylinders in the back half of the season. So yes, tonight's matchup though, it has a opportunity to kind of be a slugfest. It's 6 o'clock. They play in Atlanta. Andrew Heaney and his 6.75 earned run average are going up against Chris Sale and his 4.98 earned run average. So there probably will be some hitting.
Be a great time again. Tomorrow will be a great day to be indoors watching baseball, watching all those things. Again, Atlanta Braves taking on the Texas Rangers this weekend. Hey, again, thank you to Grant Boone from the Golf Channel and just a great Abilenian as well. And, of course, thank you to Kyle King. And congratulations to Mulligans on being nominated for one of the small family-owned businesses of the year. Hey, tune in next week. Be sure you download, subscribe, rate, review. JB Cloud coming in next. We'll be back. We won't be back. We'll see you next weekend.
And